Donald Trump said that we would get more transparency in the United States government than we had ever gotten, being the man who had just lived through 4 years of seeing just how deep the deep state gets. And so I would like to play a clip of Donald Trump signing an executive order to declassify, just some files that have existed for a very long time that the people would like answers on. Watch.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades.
Yep.
And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
Give that to RFK Jr.
Classic.
Give that to RFK Jr. And you know what? He deserves it. So you have a guy who watched as FBI plants were in the crowd during a rally of his. And, we know that they were, let me be careful with what we know and what we don't know. The idea, of course, is that the FBI helped provoke these people and helped them, in through windows and encourage them to commit violence. He has seen how they have committed lawfare against him. He has seen how the DOJ raided his own home, went through his wife's, underwear drawer, went through his minor son's bedroom. He has seen just how disgusting it gets. And, I think Donald Trump's tired of it. And he's saying, no, actually, I'm going to show the public that the American government has been working against the American people for a very, very long time. Obviously, the word on the street is that the CIA had a whole lot to do with at least JFK. I don't know how much you guys have gone down the rabbit trail of, or the rabbit hole of the others, Martin Luther King Jr. and RFK. But the truth will be revealed because now they have 30 days. The national intelligence agencies are instructed that they have 30 days after he signs this to fully release the documents about these assassinations.
He's going to be in the top 3 presidents of all time if he keeps going like this. Seriously, because he's untangling this mess that has just festered and gone on and on and on for years and years and years. And I'm here for it. It's amazing. Like, be careful what you do, right? We've mentioned this multiple times, Jaco, on here, is that if you don't see God's hand in this and what happened to that man, and this would never have happened if all those things hadn't have happened to Donald Trump. And as despairing as we were over the 4 years of corruption of Joe Biden, it had to be that way.
It did.
It had to be that. It's hard.
It's
hard, right? Because people lost loved ones, lost businesses, but it had to be that way for America to reset. It's like a refounding that we're going through right now.
Yeah.
The trial you walk through today is your preparation for tomorrow. And God will allow you to go through a trial in order to set you in position to reform what is broken. And that's what you're talking about. You're talking about a guy. How sweet is it that the individual that is literally shot in the head, when we can question whether the FBI did their job that day, whether the shooter saw the shooter, whether he should have even been able to get a shot off, we know for sure should not be allowed, that's the guy. After all that has happened, after 2 Bushes and a Clinton and an Obama, that's the guy to say, let me tell you what happened with Kennedy. Let me be the one to bring truth. It's so sweet. It is so amazing, right? The other thing is I met a guy, I'll not say his name because we're working on a documentary. There was a deathbed confession. I met a guy who was there, who became the right hand of LBJ. He's a Texan. His last name is Estes. And he said to me before he passed away, he said, Jaco, not 1, not 2, 3 shooters. And he said, the frame was set up from the beginning. I'm excited to learn what I believe I'm going to learn, which will confirm what he told me. And he's passed away since. that LBJ ordered the hit and that it came from within the agency.
Yeah.
And it was planned and deep in the agency. And even the route changing, even the fact that the top on the vehicle was put down when he never drove with the top down, and the route was changed in the last minute. And you don't change a presidential route from the outside. It is inside. So I'm excited to learn where this thing goes. It's time. It's time for the American people to know.
Well,
and on MLK as well.
yes, I agree with that. But I also hope that it doesn't stop here because, another that I would like to learn and have full transparency on, speaking of the government being involved, is the assassination attempt on Donald Trump himself.
Yes.
Let's go through all of those files. Let's comb through what they know that they're not telling us because we know so very little about this man, this loner, this guy that kept to himself, that just so happened to, elude all of these Secret Service agents and local police and just this random guy. And nobody has any information on him still to this day. How much information have they gotten on all of those? If you were in the perimeter, if you were in Washington, D.C. on January 6, 2021, they had all of your information in 20 minutes. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but they've had all this information so quickly. And all of a sudden, this kid, we have no idea. We have no idea. Except all these things don't add up, right? Similarly to JFK, all of these things don't add up. How did he get on the roof? How he came through the metal detectors with the rangefinder. They didn't find that odd. Why weren't the Secret Service agents on the roof? It was too slopey and it was too hot. I mean, there was just so many things. Why wasn't this in the perimeter of security in the first place? There were so many things that didn't add up. And you got to believe that part of the reason that Donald Trump is so hell-bent on this is because it was only by the grace of God that he turned his head and didn't end up like JFK.
They were on the same slope, in the same spot where the shooter shot from when he was brave enough to go back to Butler when Elon joined him, in the same location by the water tower. Somehow they managed to not fall off the roof that day.
Yeah.
That day they didn't fall off the roof.
Listen, I played a soldier in movies, not going to go to the Makeup. It's a bit hard. I'm getting a little bit.
You did your own stunts.
I did my own stunts.
There you go. So I am very anxious to see the release of these documents, of course, in February next month here.